Hello, hello, hello. I hope the microphone is working. Let me quickly just adjust this. Okay, that's not fully. Okay, there. There we go. So it should be. Yeah, okay, everything is working. So, today I want to do a quick trade recap or backtest recap that I took today after learning my strategy a little bit more and following the ICC method. So basically, how I trade is wait, give me one second. Let me lower this. Okay. Basically, how I trade is I follow market structure and I look at ICC. Um, Probably the most famous person that you guys know that does the ICC thing is Trades by Sai. I started with yeah, basically looking at trades by size, price action course thing on YouTube, and it was actually really good. I learned a lot of stuff from it. And then I just watched a bunch of other videos on market structure, on liquidity, and I didn't really dive too much deeper into that rabbit hole because I didn't want to overwhelm myself with information. But yeah, this is the trade I took. I'm simulating a 5K, 50K eval. My ultimate goal is to obviously pass my eval, get funded, and then start continuing my trading journey from there. So this is the trade I took, the back test I took. You know, you guys are probably gonna say like, "Oh, you're back testing," or like you're back testing, so you could have just imagined this. Like, no, not imagined this, but you could have seen where exactly price went, just went back and put your setup there, whatever. If you want to believe that, go ahead. I have literally nothing to prove to anyone. This is literally just me back testing my strategy, trying to teach myself a bit because the best way to teach yourself and to know where exactly you're still lacking is by trying to teach other people. So this is what I'm kind of trying to do here. And yeah, without too much talking, I did a lot of talking now. I'm just gonna quickly explain this trade that I took. So let's move that out of the way and let's see right here. So we are on gold. This is December. I started this new backtesting account right here on January 1st. So this is exactly where I would have been without like moving the bar forward. And then I moved the bar 1 to 2 days forward here. I'm pretty sure at least. Um, and yeah, I just did my setup from here. I was following the market for, well, according to this, 2 days, which is quite a while. It would have taken me a long time to hit this trade, but that's just the thing with ICC and with the way I trade is that um it just it's kind of like swing trading, I guess. It's not really day trading, where you have the 1 minute candles and then all the movement from the 1 minute candles and however you want to entry with that. I don't like that style of trading. That's just how some people trade, and it really just comes down to personal preference. But yeah, this is how I trade, and I'm gonna stop talking now because I've been talking for like what, hold on, let's take a look at this. I've been talking for 3 minutes already. Let me get out of your face with this and just go over this backtest trade that I took. So yeah, what I saw is that first of all, we were on a nice little bullish uptrend right here, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And then I saw something interesting. I saw that we made this protected low because we were on a bullish uptrend, and then we broke it. And then I was like, okay, that's interesting. Price wants to do something else. Going it's going bullish, and now it's you know, changing market, I'm pretty sure. Like there's a market structure shift here. It's not going back up. It's definitely not having a pullback. This isn't a pullback because this is breaking this protected low. A pullback would be if it didn't break this protected low, as far as I know, I think at least. Obviously, this isn't, like advice. This is just me talking to myself about it, trying to deepen my own knowledge. And eventually, if people see it and they know about this strategy, there's a billion other people that know like more stuff or more about ICC and market structure than I do. So I'd be very grateful if people in the comments would explain some mistakes I made. Because at the end of the day, I'm still just trying to learn. It's April 4th. No, it's April 23rd, 2026. I started learning day trading seriously on April 1st exactly. So it's been 23 days, give or take, and I haven't really been consistent. So this is where I'm at right now. Definitely not, good enough to get an eval yet or to give advice to people. I've said this like 10 times now, but this is just me recording it for myself and then uploading it for whatever reason, if in case it helps anybody else. So yeah, stop talking. Made this indication looking thing right here. This is just, I use the daily for kind of like seeing what price is doing right now, and we see it broke, and now it's kind of just consolidating. So then I went on the 4 hour time frame, and then I checked the most recent uh, thing price did. I actually don't remember what exactly I saw here. So this was the original. Let me actually probably mark this in a different color so it's not confusing. So, and maybe we can even name this. So this is the daily uh, daily market structure shift or change of character, because it broke the protected low. So that's just something we want to just keep in mind, I guess. And then the next thing I saw is that, okay, price is actually going back up a little bit here. We had higher low, higher high, higher low. Not really higher high, but it was respecting this low. It didn't break under it, so I wouldn't count it. It made this high, and then this would be the low where it came from, or you could probably also even take this. So instead of taking this one, oh, that's probably a mistake I made right here. Yeah, this high definitely came from this low. I mean, it didn't really change anything because as you can see, this candle right here, this is a break of structure, by the way. So let me just type that out right here. This is a break of structure. So price broke. If I move this right here, can I please? Yep, thank you. And then price broke below right here. So that's already like, okay, price is doing something weird right now. And then now is January 1st. So this is the last candle that I would have seen. And this trade took about 2.5 days to hit, give or take. Or this trade played over 2.5 days, give or take. And then I entered here. So it took, I think it actually took me 8 hours if I remember. You know what? I'm gonna just stop talking and I'm just gonna get like into breaking down this trade because I'm just yapping like crazy. So see this break of structure. I mark out my 4 hour protected high because this is actually something that I want to target in my trade. I see price moving up. It's correcting because is it correcting? Shit, I don't know. It's going down and it's coming back up here. And at the end of the day, I'm looking for price to come back up here because we were going, you know, bullish. See, this is why I like doing this because the more I speak about it right now, the more I see the gaps in my own knowledge when it comes to trading market structure and ICC. So this is actually very good. I'm very glad I did this. But yeah, let's continue. So then I went on the 1 hour and then I saw something interesting. So one thing that was really valuable for me to learn is that a pullback on a higher time frame is just a trend on a lower time frame. So what exactly does that mean? Let me actually go back to the 4 hour. So we can see that there was a uptrend here. It broke structure, but this could have been a pull down. And now if we go down to the 1 hour time frame, we actually see this in much more detail. It's just a trend that happened to break structure. And what we can do from this trend is, well, we can either trade off of it, which is what I did in this case, or we can just wait and see what price does after that. So I saw that price, went down and now it went back bullish again. it made this low right here, which I didn't mark out. I don't think I ever really marked that out. So yeah, whatever. But more importantly, we saw this change of character, and in the ICC context, a indication as well. Because whenever price doesn't follow what it's supposed to do, in this case, price is supposed to continue going down. This is a protected high, right? So we don't expect price to break above this level, but as soon as price breaks above this level, that is when we have an indication. And that is actually when I went down to my 15-minute time frame to get a better look at everything. And then I also went down to the 5-minute time frame, but we'll get to that in a moment. So we see price, go up here or make this indication, play around for a bit for like 15, 30, 45 hour, another hour for about 2 hours, and until it reached its high. I actually at first thought this was going to be the high because it made this nice pullback right here. So I thought, okay, this is the high, this is where we're going to go off of. But no, it actually didn't, which is why it's always good to stay a bit more patient and wait for price to actually make a proper low, which then in this case it did right over here. But wait, actually, I think this was already like this because this backtesting session started on January 1st. Exactly. So, okay, no, yeah. It started over here and then it made this high. I thought this was the high. Obviously, it wasn't. But yeah, it doesn't matter. So we have this indication right here. And what does ICC teach us? Well, ICC teaches us that there's always going to be an indication. Following the indication is a correction, and following the correction is the continuation. And the continuation is where we typically want to find our entry. So I went to the 5-minute time frame to get a. Oh shoot! I do not want to do that. Can I like not? Can I lock that or something? Lock this. Okay, yeah, that's much better. Also, let me just move this. Can I? Oh, wait, it's locked now. I'm a dumbass. Wait, my bad. We'll move this because I entered right here. I put my entry thing right here. Price went down and then it went up to the actual entry. And then it took me, I think, yeah, 8 hours. I'm pretty sure I checked this after I finished the back test. I was really happy with this, by the way. Like, I was so happy it played out the way I wanted it to play out. I was happy that the strategy finally worked, which is why I'm actually documenting it right now, which is I can recommend everyone to do because I'm learning so much stuff or learning so many weaknesses that I have right now just by doing this whole thing. So yeah, let's quit yapping and let's see what I saw. So we saw the indication. Let's say price was just here, and now we're waiting for the correction, for the continuation, and for the continuation to break the original indication, and then that's where I entered. How did I see where exactly the correction started and where exactly the correction ended? So we have this indication. Again, one thing that I always want to remember is that um, a a pullback and like a bullish move and a bearish move on a higher time frame is a trend on a lower time frame. I hope I said that correctly. I hope that makes sense. Well, to me, it makes sense. I know exactly what I mean by that, but maybe you guys don't know what exactly I mean. But yeah, whatever. So we see this uptrend right here, or this bullish move, and we see that price make, okay, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher high, and then it made a lower low. Now, this is interesting because this shows that price is now shifting. Price would have continued this trend or wants to continue this trend, and it will do so unless the market shifts, unless price shifts. And that's what it did in this case. It made this change of character. And to me, that indicated, excuse me, oh my God, holy burp, that this was the start of the correction. And yeah, that this was the start of the correction right here. Yes, yes, yeah, okay. But this was the start of the correction. I let price do its thing, lows, new lows, lower highs here, lower low here, lower high here, lower low, until I didn't actually mark this out, but we have this high right here. So I actually should have marked this out, but I was just waiting for price to come back up here to take my entry. So then one thing I see and that I saw as well, but I didn't mark out, is that this right here, this spot right here is another change of character. And in this case, it's the indication that the correction is over. So it's not actually an indication. It's just like to show that the correction is over, because this is on a bearish downtrend. The higher high, or the high in this case, is protected, meaning that we don't expect price to break above here. We expect price to break below the low because it's unprotected, a weak low. We expect it to go further down. Oh, well, I wasn't expecting it to do so. I was expecting it to come back up, obviously, because of the indication. But I wanted, that's just the general philosophy behind it. I'm simplifying things like crazy. I'm sure the people that are watching this know exactly what I'm talking about. So we have this change of character right here, which to me indicated, okay, we are now coming back up. Price is now gonna come back up. It's done correcting. It's done doing its own little thing. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get ready to enter my trade right here. And that's exactly what I did. So what I did was we marked out the high after the indication. That's where I wanted to enter because I'm looking for price to come all the way back up here, and then following ICC with the whole pattern. If we go back to the 4 hour, or we probably could have also done the 1 hour in this case. Wait, this is kind of slow. We've wanted price to bam, 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 correct, and then shoot all the way back up, which in this case it did, and that's why I won from the trade. But that's just general ICC. We want price to indicate and then correct and then break the indication and make a new high. And that's just the basics of ICC, and that's exactly what it did. So let's go back here 1 second. I'm very not proficient with this at all. So yeah, it made this change of character, and then I was getting ready to enter the trade. So we can delete this so I can explain to you guys exactly what I saw. I put um, my long position right. Where exactly? I'm not sure where exactly I put it. I probably put it around here, January 2nd. Uh, then this happened, it went up. I'm pretty sure as soon as I saw that, okay, we made this change of character, then we made a higher low from these two lows. So we had this low, a high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low. For me, we could have, because the change of character was up here, that's where I entered. But usually I also wait for like price to make a higher low and a higher high just to be safe, to make sure I'm not liquidity for other traders. But in this case, I was lucky and it didn't. And this change of character was quite big. And price was moving up quite strongly, so I was confident enough to take this trade. So then I put my entry right there. Obviously price moved back down, but I didn't enter yet because price didn't break above this level. So I waited, boop, boop, boop. I actually also got pretty lucky, I think, here, because it kind of wicked above and then it went down. And if it went down here and I saw that, whew, I would have been nervous. But yeah, usually I target a 2 to 1, a 2 to 1 ratio, so a 2 RR. And then for my low, I usually like going to the most recent lowest low, if that makes sense. So we had the indication, the correction, and the lowest point of the correction. That's where I like to put my low, but not exactly on it, because what gold, and I'm not sure if other things do it as well, like Forex pairs or stocks or whatever the hell you trade. I don't know if it does that, but gold tends to like to wick below the really lowest low. quite a lot and then take you out of the trade for no reason. So what I often like to do is put my stop loss a bit below it, a couple of pips. Not sure how exactly it works. And then I target a 2 to 1. And usually a good sign for me that my trade is in a good position is that if my 2 to 1 trade thingy gets somewhat near the 4 hour protected high. That's always been a good sign for me, and that's always been a very confidence boost in my trade. So as we can see right here, if we drag our stop loss, I mean our take profit to a around 2 RR right here. I can't make it exactly 2, but you guys get the point. It's very close to the 4 hour protected high that we have, and that's also what I'm expecting price to do. So if we go back to the 4 hour and we look at the whole picture, 1 second, we had price on an uptrend. Price was trending up, it corrected back down, and now we expect price to go back up. And when price goes back up, we expect price to break above this level. And in this case, it did. One thing that you can actually also do that Sai talks about quite a lot is that you can actually even target daily highs. That is something that I am not comfortable doing as of right now yet. So what you could have done is, if we go back to our little 5 minute right there, um, we could have found a really big move from this low right here all the way up to the daily high, which is right here. And that is an insane, or I'm not sure if this actually played out. I didn't test it, but that's something you can do. And this would probably take months for the trade to close at the rate the price is going right now, which is, I'm not trying to do that. I'm going to be honest with you. And this is just not something I've experimented with. So I don't really want to do this right now. So yeah, I took my nice little, oh wow, I got it. I took my nice little 2 RR. It was near the 4 hour line, which to me is a nice little confluence that, okay, price is most likely going to go there. And I don't want to say luckily, because I feel like I had a good trade here. I watched my setups correctly, my confluences, everything made sense to me. Everything played out how I wanted it to play out. So I wouldn't say luckily. I would say decent analysis on my end. And obviously, there's a little bit of luck involved in trading as well. But yeah, good, nice little trade that I took right here. Um, this is following, if we all tab, wrong tab, following, this is also like another example that I had. I'm not going to go over it, but if you see like my markings, and I'll give you some time to look at it, this is the long move that I saw. And this was actually me following a different tutorial when I was first learning this. And while looking back at, because I named this my reference, this is the tutorial that I followed and how exactly it works. And I used it, I practiced it, I studied it to understand it and be able to use it myself. And then one thing that I saw, which I was actually quite proud of myself for doing that, is I saw this, not sure if you could classify this as a scalp, but I saw this smaller move, not that big of a move as right here, and especially it didn't take that long. But following the whole ICC thing that I explained just now, um, I saw this whole move right here with the move down, change of character, indication, it corrected, it went above, and then I low key, the indication was right here. Yeah, okay, so I entered here, and then I targeted a nice little 2 to 1, and that was what it was right here on the I think this was not the 4 hour high, but this was just some random high that we had. So I knew that price could break above it if it had enough momentum, and it did. And it actually went even further. It made a whole nother indication, whole nother correction. And then instead of waiting, I'm not exactly sure how this trade actually like worked, if I'm being honest. Because what I did on the trade that we have right here is we wait for price to break back above it. And that's also what I did here. Second. that's also what I did here. So we had uh, the indication, correction, continuation, and then price broke above the indication. Okay, we expect price to go back up. I again, as you can see right here, if I zoom in a little bit more, you know, I should be studying for a philosophy exam right now that I have for school, but this is so much more important to me. And I know this is gonna pay off in the end, so I don't really care about that too much. Also, that grade doesn't really benefit me like that much. So, you know, don't really care. I actually put this stop loss quite tight. I kind of regret doing that. So I would have probably put it down there a bit more. Boom, boom, boom. And then target a nice little two. And yeah, the trade played out exactly how I wanted it to play out. This one right here took from 1540 to um, 15. That's like 5 hours and 5.5 hours. I'm pretty sure if my math is correct. So yeah, that's just, you know, that's what it is with ICC. That's how every trade is most likely gonna be. It's gonna be 5 hours of me obviously being a bit nervous. But at the end of the day, you have to trust your own strategy. You have to stay strong with your psychology and believe in yourself. You're not going to win everything, but you want to try to win as much as you can. And yeah, I think this is where I'm probably going to end this. How many minutes? 26 minutes. Wow. That did not feel like 26 minutes. I'm going to be completely honest right there. So yeah, this is some back testing I did on Traders Casa. I know FX replay and stuff like that exists, but damn, bro, I'm like, you know, I'm not. I could spend that money to get FX replay, but Traders Casa is literally all I need. You know, I need the replay button, I need unlimited back testing, I need, I don't really need any indicators, and I don't, the data on Traders Casa isn't as accurate as, for example, FX Replay or TradingView Premium. I also, by the way, don't have TradingView Premium. The only subscription I'm paying for is Traders Casa, and this is like, I'm not sure how much. This is like what, maybe $10 a month, $8 a month, $7, $8 a month. Yeah, I remember now, something like that. And for me, this is the perfect way of starting to get into trading, starting to get into back testing after learning everything you need to learn. So yeah, I can highly recommend Traders Casa. I got this recommended to me by my good friend Gemini, Google Gemini, and I've been working on with it for quite a while. The data isn't super accurate, so if you look at the charts, you'll see some differences compared to FX Replay or TradingView. But yeah, it's, you know, it works for me. And at the end of the day, that like precise data isn't really gonna make that much of a difference to me. And I'm not trying to invest too much money in this. Um, yeah, and I'm pretty sure if you sign up for the first time, you get like a really good deal, like $1 first month or something like that. Excuse me. So yeah, can highly recommend if you're a beginner trader like me getting into trading. Any strategy, it all works. You have all the time frames right here, except for the seconds time frame. So if you trade at that low time frame, I wouldn't recommend this. But this is perfect for me. I have the daily, the 4 hour, the 15, and the 5 minute. So yeah, this is perfect for me. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna call this a wrap. Nice little video. I'll probably look back at it when I want to study this again. But yeah, I'm gonna go look at some philosophy now. I don't really want to fail my exam. If you have any questions, drop them below. If you have any tips, drop them below. Anything that could help. And yeah, thank you for watching the video.